Hi friends, welcome to Only Green. If you're here for the first time, Only Green is all about making this world a greener place for our future generations. Today we have a celebrity with us, a versatile genius, an author, a screenwriter, a television personality, a motivational speaker, a cartoonist, all rolled into one, Mr. Anand Neelakantan. His first book, Asura, the Tale of the Vanquished, broke into the bestseller charts in the first week of launch itself. He has signed up with the producers of the blockbuster movie Bahubali for a three-book series on the movie. The first book, Rise of Shivagami, was released in 2017, and the second one, Chaduranga, was released this year. He has also written a book for children, The Very Naughty Asuras, The Tale for the Kids, which was released again in 2020. His books are based on Ramayana and Mahabharata and are always the voices of the suppressed or the defeated. He has painted a very vivid picture of the beautiful nature in his books because most of his books are in the settings of thick forests or in the lap of the Mother Nature. Today he is talking to us about literature and nature, how he visualizes nature in his books. Friends, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to get regular updates. Super thrilled to present before you Mr. Anand Neelakantan. Over to you, Anand. Thank you.
Hi, Anand Neelakantan here. Thank you, Abhi, for inviting me for this in your beautiful YouTube channel, which talks about the environment. I, as a writer, have always been worried about the environmental deterioration that is happening in our country and across the world, but especially in our country. And when you called me, I thought this is something which I am passionate about. Why? As a writer, the nature inspires me. Not just me, for most writers, there is nothing more inspirational than the nature. The very first poetry that what we believe, the Ramayana, it comes from the anguish of a hunter, the poet seeing a hunter killing one of the two birds in bliss, in love, while they were mating. So Valmiki, the Adi Kavi, the first poet, as per our Indian tradition, he had seen this hunter killing one of the two, the Krauncha birds, one of the two cranes who are mating. And from that anguish, from that shoka, the sloka comes. The shoka is the anguish of interfering with the nature, anguish of killing something which is in love. From there, the poetry comes. Indian literature, Indian poetry has always been based on the love of nature. Who can forget the fantastic poetry which is dedicated to seasons, the Ritu Samhara of Kalidasa? He talks about the 6 Indian seasons. Even in his Megha Sandesha or Kumara Sambhava, what stands apart is his love of nature. Kalidasa describes each of the flowers in the forest. In Shakuntalam, the entire plot is set based on how Shakuntala Shakuntala gets scared of a beetle, and Dushyanta, the hero, saves her not by killing the beetle but making it fly away. So Kalidasa uses whatever the beauty of the nature, the various things in nature as plot point itself. And he is not alone. You can see it across the various poetries written in India in various Indian languages. In one of the most beautiful poetry in Malayalam, that is Kunjan Nambiyar's the Tullal song on Kalyana Saugandhigam, the hero Bhima goes in search of the flower because the flower is so fragrant and his wife Draupadi wants it. So he is willing to go to any extent to fight anyone to just get this flower. In various fairy tales and in various epics across the world, we can see heroes going to save a woman, save a princess, save a kingdom, fight for their kingdom, fight for treasure and all. But perhaps only in India that a hero goes in search of a flower. So this is the importance we have always given for nature. You can see the Mughals also, when they came and started building beautiful buildings, they gave an importance to the garden. And all Indian temples are closely associated with nature, especially the temples in Kerala, Karnataka, in the northeast, Assam, Bengal, and many of the tribal temples in Madhya Pradesh. They are closely associated with the nature. They have a grove, the serpent grove, or they have, in Kannada they call it Devarkavu. In Tulu land, in the coastal Karnataka, in Kerala it is called Sarpakavu or the serpent grove. So like that, you find that it is closely associated with the nature. You can see there is a kind of a balanced living which our ancestors practiced. I am not saying everything our ancestors practiced were right. Like any times, there will be good things and bad things. But one of the most beautiful things what our ancestors did was to respect the nature and live in harmony with that. See, take the concept of the Sarpakavu itself in Kerala. I grew up in Kerala, so I am more easier for me to talk about that. It is a perfect ecosystem. There is a temple, it has a slanted roof. Usually even the homes also in Kerala had slanted roofs. Why? Because there was it's almost 6 months of rain, and it's a tropical land, and it is mostly slopey so that the water can easily reach the sea. So you have to conserve the water. So the sloped roofs, it gives protection from the sun, but it also collects the water. There is an inner courtyard, whether it is in temples or in homes. Through the inner courtyard, it flows to the pond surrounding which there is a serpent grove. So you find that there is water conservation linked to that. There is what you call the ecosystem built in the groove itself. So the society or the village itself was giving importance to how to conserve water in a place where the chances of the water flowing to the sea is very high because of the geography of the land. You find it across coastal India. Both on east and west side, but especially on the west side because the slope is more. In Karnataka, in Maharashtra, you see this kind of construction. So how this inspires nature, inspires literature to me, if I talk about my works, all my works are influenced by my close connection to nature. I am a nature lover. I love poetry based on nature. I love stories based on nature. And most of my stories come from my close interaction with nature. It was my love of nature that made me get a land in Wayanad. I had searched almost for 2 years to get a land in Wayanad, a place which I love, a place of lords, the place of Parshiraja, the place of Banasura. It has so much to offer. I am not a native of Wayanad. My sister was married there, and right from my childhood I used to go there. So when I had sufficient money to spare, the first thing I did before I made my own home or anything was to get a land. Now it is being run as a resort. My wife is managing it, Planet Green Resorts. I go there to plan my stories. So when I was writing Bahubali, in my book, if somebody has read my book, it is coming as a Netflix series too. There is a mountain called Gauri Parvat. This Gauri Parvat, I got inspiration from what I am seeing across my balcony in my Wayanad resort, Planet Green Resort. All the balconies from all the rooms open up to this grand vista of the great Chembra peak. Chembra in Malayalam is Chembara. It's called as Chembra now because Malabar is short and everything. So the Chembara is because during sunrise, one side of it becomes red. On sunset, the other side of it becomes red. So it's a beautiful place, and the entire Bahubali setup was inspired by that. Similarly, I had used portions of the Malayatur side and other things in my book Asura, where this is another place which I am very fascinated about, the Bhudatangata and all those kind of places near Cochin. In Bombay, while I am living in Bombay because I work mostly in television and film industry with Bollywood and other films as a story consultant and all. And Bombay, as you know, you think it is a very crowded city. Yes, it is, but there are parts of Bombay which is beautiful. So it took me some time to decide on where I should live, and I am fortunate to live amid greenery. My home, my writing desk faces the Array Forest and Sanjay Gandhi National Park, even though it is far away from various other places where I want to go and I might have to commute. I had chosen this place despite not able to afford it much also. I would leave everything but get a place like this. That's what I decided, and I got the place where I can be with nature. It is so whenever most of my writing happens when I walk, and whenever I am walking, I keep observing what is happening in nature. I keep observing the butterflies. I keep smelling the fragrance of flowers, because this is what has inspired me and made me fall in with literature. Without nature, there is no literature for me. Without nature, there is no literature or art or music for any civilization. The nature, Prithvi, is the mother. So, Prithvi, without the mother earth, we don't have any existence. So, love her more than yourselves, because we all originated from here. Thank you, Anand Neelakantan.